Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something a bit different. We've got this really focused, really high-value source material all about strategic business transformation.
Yeah, the kind of stuff that really makes or breaks those huge projects.
Exactly. So our mission today, take this, frankly, pretty dense material and boil it down into something you can grasp and use right away. A clear look at the transformation toolkit.
Think of it as your shortcut. We're pulling out the absolute core strategic functions of, well, three key platforms: SAP Signavio, SAP LeanInX, and WalkMe.
We want you to get not just what they are, but the critical role they play, in that whole transformation life cycle.
Precisely, understanding the why behind them.
And just to give you a sense of how high stakes this knowledge is considered the source material itself, it's aimed at people prepping for a tough certification.
Oh, yeah. 30 questions, just 1 hour, and you need what, an 80% score to pass?
Right. Which tells you need to be absolutely precise. Understanding the reason for every feature isn't optional.
Total clarity. That's the goal here.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's jump right into the foundation. Process intelligence. You look at any big company, the real complexity isn't just headcount, right?
No, it's the sheer number of processes. Overlapping, slightly different ways of doing things everywhere.
And that inconsistency, that's the killer for efficiency, isn't it? And for scaling up.
It's the core truth, and that's precisely what the SAP Signavio Process Collaboration Hub targets. Its main goal, the whole reason it exists, is to set up that single source of truth for every single process model, all the documentation.
Single source of truth. Sounds straightforward, but the impact must be huge.
Right.
Why is having one central library so much better than just, having documents somewhere?
Well, because documentation that just sits on someone's drive or in different folders, it's almost useless, practically speaking.
Right, out of sight, out of mind. Or worse, out of date.
Exactly. The Collaboration Hub is centralized. Models are stored there, shared, and this is key updated in real time. The real value. Consistent company-wide access.
So everyone's singing from the same song sheet.
Precisely. If HR in London is looking at the exact same hiring process diagram as the ops manager out in Singapore, well, you boost transparency massively, and you cut down on all those cross-departmental arguments and mistakes.
It's like the baseline for keeping things sane.
You got it.
Okay, so that establishes the official version, the documented truth. But let's be honest, reality rarely follows the manual perfectly. How do we check that ideal process against what people are actually doing in the systems day to day?
That brings us neatly to SAP Signavio Process Intelligence. This uses some powerful process mining technology.
Process mining, okay.
It works by doing this deep analysis, pulling raw execution data right from the system event logs. You're literally seeing the digital footprint of every single transaction as it happened.
Wow, okay, like digital archaeology for business processes. So what are the key things this mining tech helps us do? Like the top three?
Okay, first, it automatically discovers those actual process flows. It basically reverse engineers the journey a transaction took, showing you every path, including all the weird detours people took.
So it finds the shadow processes, the workarounds people invent, because maybe the official way is too clunky.
Exactly that. It shines a light on them. Second core capability is conformance checking.
Conformance checking?
Yeah, this is where you compare the executed process, that real journey from the logs, against the ideal model you have stored back in the Collaboration Hub.
Okay, so it's like your GPS route versus where you actually drove.
That's a perfect analogy. Did you stick to the planned highway, or did you end up on some scenic route that added an hour? It flags that deviation instantly.
Makes sense. And the third capability you said might be the most strategic.
Yes. The third is identifying the bottlenecks, the deviations, and crucially, the root causes behind those process problems.
Getting to the why.
Right. You don't just see invoice processing as slow. The tool might tell you, say, 80% of delays happen because of one specific manual approval step only in the finance department in Germany.
So you go from symptom spotting to actually fixing the underlying issue.
Exactly. You're treating the disease, not just the cough.
And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, these capabilities together, they enable something really powerful, don't they? Continuous monitoring and optimization.
Absolutely. It keeps the organization agile. It makes transformation less like this one-off, massive, painful project.
And more like constant small adjustments.
Perpetual incremental refinement, all driven by actual data.
Okay, speaking of massive, painful projects.
Yeah.
Here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Shifting focus to those super high-stakes changes. Like, specifically, de-risking S/4HANA transformations.
Oh, yeah. Billions are on the line with those. And the failure rates, They can be genuinely terrifying for executives.
So risk mitigation is paramount. The source material really digs into how SAP Business Transformation Management Solutions, or BTM, tackle this huge project risk head-on.
They do. It's all about reducing that risk.
So how do tools like BTM actually cut down the complexity and risk? What do they do?
They focus on two main strategic plays. First, they use all those data-driven insights from the process intelligence side.
From Signavio.
Right. To significantly trim down unnecessary project scope. This is really the heart of the clean core strategy you hear about.
Clean core, meaning?
Meaning you strategically decide which customizations, which bits of technical debt built up over decades you are not going to carry forward into the shiny new S/4HANA system.
Ah, I see. So you're not just lifting and shifting the old mess. You're cleaning house before you move in.
Precisely. If you can eliminate, say, 50 clunky old customizations that aren't really needed anymore, your S4 implementation gets exponentially simpler, faster, and cheaper.
That makes a huge amount of sense.
Yep.
Okay, what's the second strategic play?
The second is all about ensuring change management success. ETM solutions give you visibility into how the changes will likely impact your people and your existing processes before you go live.
The human side.
Exactly. This lets the organization prep teams, train people effectively, target the right support, basically stop the human element from scuppering a technically sound project.
That visibility must be crucial because often the tech works, but users hate it or can't figure it out, and the whole investment tanks.
Happens all the time.
And the timing. When you use these tools, that's really strategic too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This is maybe the primary strategic message from the sources. The earlier you use these solutions, BTM, Signavio, to shape that initial scoping and design,
The bigger the payoff.
the greater the potential value you generate and the more risk you slash. Early insight prevents that costly rework later on. It maximizes value right from the start.
Okay, now let's narrow the focus again, maybe onto the enterprise architecture side with SAP Linux. So Signavio helps define what the process is.
Yeah.
Linux ensures the underlying tech can actually, deliver it cleanly.
That's a good way to put it. We need to talk about value stream management here, or VSM.
Right, SAP Linux Value Stream Management. What's its specific angle?
VSM looks specifically at the flow of value, all the way from an initial idea through development, deployment, and finally getting it delivered to the actual customer.
So it's tracking the journey of a product or service.
Exactly. And it's hunting for bottlenecks, inefficiencies, waste, but specifically within that product delivery pipeline.
Okay.
Where do things get stuck between IT and the business units? Is the tech helping or hindering getting value to the customer faster? That's what VSM focuses on.
Got it. And Linux X also hits IT risk squarely with its technology risk and compliance solution. This sounds like it tackles some real dangers lurking in the tech stack.
It does. The sources highlight two specific high-impact risks this solution is built to mitigate.
Okay, what are they?
First, it addresses the massive widespread problem of obsolete technologies.
Old software, old hardware.
Exactly. The solution proactively flags the financial costs, things like paying for licenses or maintenance on stuff you barely use, and critically, the huge security vulnerabilities that come with running outdated systems. Unsupported tech is just a massive liability waiting to be exploited.
Make total sense. It's a drain financially and basically an open door for security breaches. Is one usually prioritized over the other cost-saving for security?
It's interesting. The source material emphasizes it tackles both simultaneously. It gives you that integrated view. The second big risk is non-compliance.
Ah, rules and regulations.
Yep. This solution helps ensure the entire IT landscape sticks to both internal policies and, importantly, external regulatory requirements. Think GDPR, SOX, things like that.
So it's proactive governance, making sure your architecture is secure, yes, but also compliant and defensible if an auditor comes knocking.
Exactly. Making sure you're covered.
Okay, that flows nicely into the human element.
Mm-hmm.
The last mile, you could say, of any transformation success. We've got the ideal process mapped out with Signavio. We've confirmed the systems underneath can handle it with Linux. But if the users don't actually use the new system properly,
Then it's all for nothing. Exactly. This is where WalkMe's digital adoption platform, or DAP, comes into the picture.
WalkMe, their whole thing is making complex software easy to use, right?
Right, usable immediately. A core strength is their analytics module. It provides the actionable data you need to really optimize those applications and the training around them.
Actionable data. What kind of insights tell you if the adoption plan is actually working? The sources mentioned two key types.
Yeah, two main things. First, they identify friction points. This is data gold. It shows you exactly where users are struggling, where they hesitate, or maybe even where they just give up and abandon a workflow.
Like a heat map of user pain points?
Pretty much. The second crucial bit of data is visibility into the bigger picture. Overall user adoption rates, how people are actually using the system, their patterns, and how much they're engaging with the guidance WalkMe provides.
So it closes the loop, shows the application owner exactly where to focus efforts to simplify things and boost productivity.
You got it.
And WalkMe has this clever tech that lets its guidance keep working even when the underlying software changes. Deep UI. What's the core idea there in simple terms?
Okay, Deep UI basically gives the WalkMe platform a contextual sort of underlying understanding of the application's user interface. And that enables resilient self-healing guidance.
Self-healing guidance. Hang on. Does that mean if, say, Salesforce updates and moves the submit button slightly, the WalkMe walkthrough pointing to it just figures it out automatically?
That's precisely it. It adapts on the fly. It understands the elements on the screen contextually, not just their fixed position. So even if the UI layout changes or elements get tweaked in an update,
Yeah, the guidance doesn't break.
exactly. For a huge enterprise app that gets updated constantly, that's a massive operational win. No more manually re-recording or updating guides every single time there's a minor UI change. It saves a ton of effort and ensures users always have support.
Right, that makes sense. Now, we're talking about enterprise software, potentially sensitive data.
Yeah.
How does WalkMe reassure its big customers about data security, compliance, all that crucial stuff? It's always a concern with cloud tools.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable. They do it by achieving and, importantly, maintaining industry-standard security certifications. The sources specifically mention things like SOC 2 and ISO 2701, and these aren't just badges. They represent rigorous audits and proof that WalkMe has robust controls in place for data protection, for privacy, for compliance. It assures customers their data handling meets tough global standards.
Okay, good. So, pulling all these threads together, what does this all mean for the big picture? That continuous business transformation life cycle. We've covered discovering processes, designing changes, delivering tech, getting users on board. But the job's not done when you go live, is it?
Not even close. We're really looking at a continuous loop, a cycle. And this is where those tools we started with circle back in. Tools like SAP Signavio Process Intelligence, the ones that measure how things are actually running compared to the targets. They're specifically crucial in the phase called monitor and optimize.
Monitor and optimize. Sounds like the engine room where you keep tuning things up.
That's exactly what it is. This phase is critical. It uses real analytical data to measure actual performance against the KPIs you set way back in the design phase. It identifies new areas for improvement.
So it stops things from slowly sliding back to the old, inefficient ways.
Precisely. It ensures your executed processes stay aligned with where the business needs to go, which is always evolving, instead of drifting back into those comfortable but inefficient shattered processes.
That brings us perfectly full circle then. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.